Hello, good afternoon. My name is Žorž. I come from Slovenia. I work for the Internet Society, and I will talk you a bit about our effort. We're going around the world to talk about the best current operational practices and how the operators should come together and document what is going on the networks and how they are, how you guys are deploying the new technologies like IPv6, DNSSEC, and so on. A bit about me. I carry more than 20 years of operations on my back. I've been designing, architecting, and running big ISP networks. I have 13 years of IPv6 experience, and I'm a contributing member of RIPE and IETF community. And I started I joined the ISOC in December 2012. This is about Deploy 360, what Dan already presented. So what is the IPB Cup? And I usually get this question, how does it differs from the BCP? So BCP is the best current practice, is the IETF series, and the best current operational practice is something that only the operators can write. So BCP can be written basically by anyone who thinks how his protocol should be deployed or how the networks should be run. But the operational practice is something that can come only from the experienced operators. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm talking to the network operators groups about this. This is actually a document that describes how to best achieve an operational practice, and is agreed by the operators among themselves. So it's not something that one person writes and says this is the best, but operators among themselves agree on a regional or later on a global level that this is what is written in this document is really something that is a good practice. So what is a problem statement? So many people around the world do not travel much to the different, I don't know, NOG meetings or RIR meetings or IETF meetings. And they try to search on the internet how to implement new stuff. So if you try to search on the Google, how do I implement IPv6 in DSL environment? Well, you will probably get gazillion of hits, and the problem is that you don't know which of these hits and what information in there is really valid and technically sound and is just not a clutter. So how are these operational practices shared among the operators? You're doing it in a hallway conversation, operator group presentations, over email lists. There are many ways how to share this information, but this means that this information is not organized in one place. So you talk in the hallway, so somebody comes up to you and say, oh, how did you deploy IPv6 in a DSL environment? How did you fix the, I don't know, radius stuff or something like this? And then these two people talk to each other, but this information is not stored anywhere, right? So there is currently no quick and easy way for an operator to find all this information. And there is, as I said, it's too much clutter in the IT space, in the IT landscape. So if you search for this information, you can find what different things, different information about new technologies that are more or less valid. So what is the solution idea? The IPB Cup repositories. We are going around the world and talk to people about that the operators should come together and start documenting this stuff. So why would we do that? Because we could speed up the deployment of IPv6. If you have experience and you agree with another operator that this is a really good way of deploying v6, you should come together, write the document, and publish it in a BCOP repository nearby to you, or you create one for Canada. I don't know. That's something that you need to work on. And we as Internet Society are committed to assisting in the creation and promotion of these repositories. How it should look like? It should be open, so no hiding information, no fees or something like this. It should be bottom-up process, completely bottom-up. It should be done by engineers for the engineers. It's operator consensus-driven. It should be transparent, and also when you start producing these documents, it should be ongoing and revision controlled. So you should revision this current operational practice often and see if this is still the good operational practice. It should be free from organizational agendas, free from vendor lobbying, free from everything. Basically, it should be from the operator from the operators for the operators. And actually, this is the community knowledge put together and made available for everyone. So this is a bit of feedback of what we already did. We traveled around the world. We racked up many air miles. I think we went over 100,000 this year. And we have been around the world and talked about this stuff, and we had some success, I may say. So what's going on in North America? Some times ago, Aaron Hughes and Chris Grundeman joined the Internet Society as a manager of our team. Now, they started the IPB Cup effort, and then they asked us to put this effort on the global level. So now IPB Cup at NANOC became a regional BCOP repository, and they are already producing the documents. They are talking to each other. They have actually their effort was put as a track in NANOC, because NANOC don't have this concept of the working groups. So BCOP effort in NANOC is a track, and they are doing quite well. Next one that we tried to start was at the RIPE meeting in the RIPE region, because I come from that region and I'm very much involved in that community. We received a huge feedback on our proposal. You will see our first proposal later. There was lots of discussion. We had a BOF in Dublin RIPE meeting, and based on the feedback that we got, we changed the whole thing. But the outcome of the discussion was, okay, forget about the global top-heavy rigid structure. Let's start the work regionally, produce something useful, and publish it. So be pragmatic. So this was the first idea of the BCOP. It should be, so this is a PDF, right? It should be animation. As you can see, it's quite a big, top-heavy, rigid structure. That was the first idea. And after receiving lots of feedback from the community, we decided to actually chop the head off. This is what we came up now, and the communities around the world are much more happy and much more interested in this. As you can see, there are regionally organized BCOPs, and there are operators that are just bottom-up process contributing to the BCOPs. What we are doing now is we just created a web page at the Deploy 360 team, web portal, when we are just pointing to the work being done in the different regions. There is no coordination going on. There is no secretariat. There is nothing formal going on the global level. Just pointing to the work that is being done around the world, and a bit about what's going on around the world in Africa region. Actually, we are starting the initiative in Afrinic, in Côte d'Ivoire meeting in few weeks. I'm going to this Ivory Coast meeting. Mr. Douglas Onyango will lead the effort. In Latin America, 5 days ago, I was in Curacao meeting for LACNOC, and Antonio and Carlos are running the B Cup effort in Latin America. In Europe, we created a B Cup task force within the RIPE community. I'm co-chairing this effort. And in the Middle East, we presented in Minok in Kuwait. We are waiting for people to come back with some proposals. In Asia, well, I'm not here. Well, I'm in Toronto. But this slide was made for submitting to the Apricot meeting. I'm sorry. In Asia, we are going to JANOC, to Japan and New Zealand, January next year, and also to Apricot, and we will also try to start the effort there. I see I have just 1 minute left. Okay, I will go a bit over. What we identified in RIPE region, these are the topics that people sent in, they want to work on. So we are currently working on address spoofing. America will be very happy about it. She always makes the comments about BCP38, and I completely agree. Internet would be a much better place if this would be implemented everywhere. So these are lots of topics that people would like to work on and write the documentation and the best current operational practices. Then it's how to test your network performance, how to check your visibility from the global internet. This one is particularly interesting to me, and so on and so forth. And we also need more suggestions. So if you have more suggestions for more topics, send us an email. I would quickly like to go through the one document that actually I started as a showcase how the best current operational practice should look like. And when I'm traveling around the world, I talk to many operators, and what I usually hear is, yes, we deployed IPv6 in the core, we deployed IPv6 in the services, but we are not rolling it out to our end customers. We have the CPE, we have everything ready, but we are just not rolling it out. My question is why? And the generic answer that I have usually is because our help desk knows nothing about IPv6, and if we roll it out to the end customers, our help desk will burn down. Yes. So this is the next speed bump. So I'm also the primary co-author of RIPE 554 that specified the IPv6 requirements in ICT equipment. That was the first speed bump, and now I see the next speed bump. And I said, oh, okay, why we don't just write a generic document about troubleshooting and IPv6 procedures for help desks around the world. And this could be a first cross-region cooperation effort, as every region is probably a bit different. So we started working on this document. We have great contributors. It's Lee Howard from Time Warner Cable, John Jason Brzezowski from Comcast, David Friedman from Claranet, Jason Fessler, he's running the testipv6.com, Tim Chown, Sander, Chris Grandeman, and myself. If you guys would like to work on this document and help us, find me around. I'll be in the hallways for the whole meeting. If you have the experience, if you deployed V6 and you know how to train your help desk, you are very, very welcome. So, as I already said, this document is about to provide a very basic troubleshooting So it usually starts with the user calling in saying, the internet is not working, really. And where it goes from here is how to detect if this is the IPv6 problem or IPv4 problem or a user problem. So what we're trying to do here is, with Jason Fessler, I talked him into building the special version of test-ipv6.com, and it's, I think it's already online. It's isp.test-ipv6.com. That will, and we will wrap this document around this special version for the help desks that will just show a bit less information that can be easily read over the phone to the help desk. So we're trying to solve this mental problem of people thinking that their help desk will burn down. So what Lee Howard said, he's running a network with 12 million customers. And he said that on IPv6 day, they had more wrong number calls than IPv6 calls. So more people ordered pizza to their help desk than had problems with IPv6. So this is basically just in the minds of the operators that their help desk will burn down. It will not. But they need a document that they put to their manager saying, listen, we tested the equipment, we have the CPE tested, and by the way, here are the very simple instructions for our help desk how to tackle with the IPv6 problems when people call. So they take responsibility from their back to somebody else. And this is what we operators usually do. So these are the websites, the IPB Cup topics, and what's going on around the world. Go there and see by yourself. What is the way forward? We have a strong IPB Cup initiative in NANOC for the North America. If you think you need one for Canada, so be it. Let's talk about it. Let's create something. And please contribute, contribute, contribute. Thank you very much. Are there any questions?